Number 9, baby. Can the Hustle be together with Anna Packer and Glenn Zavia Jr. What is up? We are almost done, but this topic is something we all should live by. Failure is not an option. Do you guys agree?
I think that when you're so deep full-time into reselling, it's not an option. When you have a family to feed, you got to figure that out. And it just gets tougher and tougher. So, man, failure is not an option. It's kind of tough on what situation you are in. But business-wise and where I'm at right now, I could definitely say that is true.
I think failure is totally an option. Go for it. Just kidding. I mean,
fail. Just fail.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
try
I do
try
think
it once.
I'm totally being facetious about that, but I also think, I'm thinking about like macro failure. Like giving up is not an option, right?
Right.
True.
On the other hand, little failures to learn stuff is unavoidable. So, like, you don't have to be perfect. That's not what this is about. This is about don't quit and don't settle for a no or a closed door, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think this has to be a trait of an entrepreneur or a creative, because one of the things that I could think of that when you have that mentality of failing is not an option, like what Anna said, is like giving up.
Yeah.
In all humanity's history, we have gone through a lot harder things, and we've always made it out. Example, in our lifetime, I think the pandemic in 2020 was something, big we've never experienced in our lifetime before, but we've all made through it. I think there's a lot of, as much as there's a lot of negative that came out of that, I think there's a lot of positive that came out as well.
It changed all of our businesses.
That is true. It propelled a lot of things, and actually it made us look of what are things that needs to be changed.
Totally.
And I think when we say on the macro, don't give up, don't settle, keep going, keep swinging. On the other end of it too, in the micro, I think failure is the best teacher.
Right.
Running, we have it in a science experiment, right? Once you do the experiment, you identify the problem, you do the whole thing, and you assess it if it was successful or not, and then you redo it again with different variables. So the only way to solve a problem is actually to get it wrong the first few times. That way, be like, okay, this variable is not helpful. This variable is. This variable is not. This variable is. So it's kind of like, like they have this thing. Since I'm in the aquarium world now, they have this thing they called culling, right? So they remove the bad genes or the bad or the unhealthy fish stock out of the breeding group. That way it just keeps building better generation and better generation. So I think that's kind of like what we need to do with our business. What are the things that are good? Keep adding it on to next year, and the things that are not doing well, eliminate it. That way, one day people are gonna look at your business. Wow, your business is bulletproof. No, I've just built it over time. I've just found all the weak spots around it because it has failed, and I just replace it with better system or with better inventory. Now it seems like it's bulletproof.
This is more a learning experience than anything.
Right. Like, failure is the experience, right? That's the best teacher. It's like all wrapped together. I think too, like, this kind of makes me think about how do we define failure? Because so often when we think about failure, what we're really thinking about is I fell short of my goal. or I didn't like hit some
It
specific
didn't work. Right?
number.
It didn't
Yeah,
work, right?
I didn't get the outcome I wanted, right? But
right.
I think it's really interesting what you just said, Ken. Like, if you're eliminating basically the bottom, 10% of what doesn't work, and you're doubling down on the top 10% of what does work, like year over year, like that is a success. That is not failing. That
Right.
is determining that you're not gonna fail, even if you, don't hit a specific number, or you don't, you're not as consistent as you want to be, or whatever it is. It's like we all also have to determine, what does failure and success mean. And like Glenn was saying, we live in real life. Like, we all have bills to pay. Like, there are numbers we have to hit, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is not monopoly money to us. But at the same time, determining how you define failure is also really important if you're going to live by this rule.
So there we go, guys. That was failure is not an option, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Don't fail.